What should people absolutely not do when visiting your country? I live in Barbados. Don't wear camouflage. It's illegal unless you're a part of the defense force. This is an interesting one. I feel like I knew most of the answers in this thread, or they are joke/troll answers, but this is both useful and unexpected. Good to know. So out of curiosity, this doesn't just mean army fatigues, a camo print t-shirt would be illegal? Not even a handkerchief with the pattern is allowed. Wow. Interesting, thanks for sharing. Living in Barbados, I've learned the hard way that wearing camo will have the bushes nodding at you in approval. If you are hiking through the Austrian mountains with a dog, put it on a leash. The cows will hurt you if they feel threatened. In general, don't disturb the cows and keep away from them. Same goes for the UK and crossing farmers' fields. However, if the cows start coming after the dog, let it go. The dog will be able to outrun the cows. You won't. I remember being taught this in primary, particularly the let go section. I've only ever seen it happen once though. Went surprisingly well, considering the dog only had a weir and a bull field to run to. The guy holding the dog was pretty much ignored once he dropped the lead and the dog gained some distance. Also, if you are in the UK and walking with your dog near livestock, keep the dog under control, especially around sheep. Farmers can and will shoot your dog if it starts to worry the sheep. Walking through the Austrian mountains, I discovered that cows take their personal space seriously. Who knew I could connect with bovines on such a profound level? Hello, welcome. When visiting my country, please avoid shaking hands with the majestic local squirrels. Trust me, they have strong opinions about handshakes. Just a heads up, you don't want to end up in a squirrely debate. So, what's your absolutely not to do in your country? Comment below. Approach wildlife, especially when they're with their offspring. The amount of idiot tourists I've seen outside their cars within mauling distance of a bear or moose is mind-boggling. I work in the wilderness throughout the American West and moose safety training is a top priority. I've ran into mountain lions, black bears and every kind of snake out here. It's the moose that will go after you out of nowhere and they blend into the environment very well. I've had one charge my work truck, they do not care. This is the problem. They look like glorified deer and tourists have zero knowledge of how dangerous they are. I'm surprised more tourists aren't maimed or killed in/around Banff National Park every year. I feel like they need to put symbolic stickers inside rental cars like they do with non-smoking. Don't go for a drive in the outback without making sure you're properly prepared if you get stuck. There's a reason you see so many abandoned cars on the highways out there. Many years ago I was traveling with family as a kid through inner Queensland, 4WD and a trailer. We've broken down before in the outback, we didn't want to do it again. So my parents had the car professionally checked to make sure it was ready for the trip. But they forgot to get the trailer looked at. We ended up losing a trailer while 10 kilometers after leaving a tiny one-street town in the middle of nowhere at 6 a.m. This was day 3 of our 2-week-long trip. No hope of replacing the tire or anything. Entire wheel shot off never to be seen again, and all that was left was essentially just a stick at that point. It was just my mom and us 3 kids. Dad was joining a bit later in the trip cause of work, with road trains going past every now and then. She had to put us in the car and leave the trailer on the side of the road so she could get help at the little town nearby. We saw an wrecked vehicle when we stayed in the little town, so we knew there was some help available. Luckily the trailer was still there when we got back. We got it all sorted in the end. If you're not a strong swimmer, please don't wade out into our ocean expecting that you'll be okay. If you want to swim at our beaches, stay between the flags where there are lifeguards on duty. Aussie? This is something that I was shocked is so common with tourists here. We're born into a culture that understands water danger, and it's mind-blowing to me that some countries have no concept of how dangerous the ocean is. Yeah, Aussie. People really underestimate how unpredictable and powerful our beaches are. Even one of your prime ministers went missing while swimming at the beach, and his body was never found. UK here. Always queue. Even if there isn't a queue, just look around politely and ask whoever's around if they're queuing. I know this reads like a joke, but it really isn't. There's always a queue, and tourists always ignore it, and that's usually why tourists get a bad rap in the UK. Also, if you ever use the underground, always keep to the right unless you're running up or down the escalators to hop on a train. As a Londoner, we are very passionate about it. Given that you guys drive on the left, I would think that you stand on the left and pass on the right. Interesting. In Australia that's how it is. Driving, walking, cycling, it's all the same. Stick to the left unless overtaking. Don't swim outside the flags on the beach. Also, don't swim in the water in far north Queensland, Australia. Saltwater crocodiles are way more aggressive than alligators. You seriously could be mere meters from one and you can't even see it. And box jellyfish. And the irukandji jellyfish. How do you even get the gloves on a jellyfish to fight it? Swimming outside the flags? Oh, you'll definitely catch the attention of our Olympic synchronized swimming team practicing their routine. Don't do the Nazi greeting. In fact, just don't do it anywhere. But especially not in my country. Police will arrest you for it. As well they should, but I really can't think of a place where it's socially acceptable to do that. You'd get away with it in Italy, unfortunately. In the US, too, apparently. Unfortunately. Don't walk the bicycle lanes. On the same note, don't cycle on the sidewalks. Netherlands? I just got war flashbacks trying to cross the road in Amsterdam. The bicycle bells will ring in my ears forever. As I strolled through the busy streets of my country, I realized that venturing into the bicycle lanes is like playing a real-life game of Frogger with a herd of furious two-wheelers. Don't go to Hollywood expecting something. Also, don't spend tons of money just to see famous people's homes on one of those bus tours. You should go to all the cool museums around LA though, those are pretty neat. And the beaches aren't too bad either. I loved visiting LA, it's a city full of cultural, culinary and architectural gems. I weirdly think it's underrated as a destination. Hear me out, since people often don't do the best things there. Why anyone would go to Hollywood is beyond me. It's basically an industrial area with a mall and some souvenir shops. Just visit your favorite office building at home. Don't touch the King's Guard. Don't touch the reins of the horse either. According to YouTube video Smile. Yeah, it's like grabbing someone's steering wheel while they are driving. Don't touch the reins of any horse when someone else is riding it unless off course you are the one supposed to be guiding them. Stepping on the King's Guard is like poking a sleeping dragon in disguise with a tickling feather. Results may vary, but laughter won't be one of them. If you're visiting Brazil, especially a big city, avoid using your smartphone while walking on the streets, as you become more prone to being robbed. Same in Colombia. Wife's American co-worker was visiting an office in Colombia. She was heading out of the hotel when the concierge said he would call up a car for her. She said she didn't need it because she was only going 2 blocks down. The concierge said, "Carrying that laptop, you won't make it 1 block. Walking around with a smartphone in Brazil is like putting a 'rob me, please sign' on your back." It's like a fashion statement, but with a higher chance of ending up naked. Order an Irish car bomb shot. Doesn't exist here, and the name has roots in the Troubles, a dark time in our history that people north and south of the border who are still alive lost people too. Edit, shot, not cocktail, thanks Carp 70. Again, doesn't even exist here. Came to say this. Also, don't order a black and tan either. Arguably even more offensive. I think this can be generalized too. If there is a themed drink for X country in your country, do not order that drink in X country. Nothing wrong with a Singapore Sling or Cuba Libre in fairness. To the best of my knowledge. If you come across Canada, don't ever dare touching our geese, thanks. Canadians are invariably polite because they store all their aggression in their geese. This is the first time I've heard this, and it makes so much damn sense. Emotional support geese. They take away the bad feels. Living in Canada, I've learned the hard way that if you mess with our geese, you better be ready for a good old-fashioned Canadian honkdown. Do not touch the bison. I don't care that they're herbivores and look fluffy. They are incredibly strong and will kill you if they're in a bad mood. Toss tourists provide great entertainment. Do a flip. Visiting my country? Let's just say attempting to pet a bison is like trying to snuggle with a cuddly tank. Trust me, hilarity won't ensue.